WIXQ is owned by Millersville University and operated by the students as an extracurricular activity. The opinions expressed on air are those of the DJs and do not reflect the views of WIXQ or its staff. Seize the airways with WIXQ, 91.7 FM, The Ville. Radical, renowned, real college radio. We're back here on WIXQ 91.7 FM. You were listening to What is Savage, and it is time to get into our sports segment that Frank will not be a part of because he doesn't know sports.
You don't have to shame me about that.
I'm just mentioning the facts.
Well, I don't care if it's a fact.
Who played in the Super Bowl?
Patriots and the Rams.
Who won the game?
Patriots.
What was the score?
It was like something to 13, I think. Like 3 or 13. It was like
wow, you got it.
Yeah.
Who won the MVP?
Probably Tom Brady.
No. Okay. No. Okay. Who was the quarterback for the Rams? Okay. Well, you were close enough. You got 60% of these questions right. So, good job. Proud of you.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. All right. You know anything else about sports that we don't know?
Huh?
Do you know anything else about sports that we don't know?
I used to play tennis.
Okay, you're done. You're done. So, we are going to do our Super Bowl preview. Not preview. Super Bowl post preview.
Recap.
Whatever. I'm a comm major. I'm not an English major. So, you're a comm major too. Right?
Yeah.
Right? You still are, right?
Yes, I'm still
correct?
comm. Yes.
All right. Just making sure. Okay. So, yes, again, like Frank says, because he knew that the Patriots beat the Rams 13-3. I'm going to start it off by saying, look, a lot of people out there are complaining about, you know what, Frank, you could join in on this too, because you're probably one of them, okay? Let me get to it first, before you start speaking into the mic, because I see you open your mouth over there. So, a lot of people were complaining about the game on how it was so, quote-unquote, boring, okay? That the score was only 13-3. This is what I'm going to say, okay? So, people complain all the time that the scores are always way too high, that there's no defense in games, and that it's nothing but an offensive shootout. But yet, when a defensive game comes around, and there's no offensive shootout because you have two great defenses playing a game, people still want to complain about that. It's just like life, and everything about life. If there's one thing going right, there's always someone out there to complain about it. But yet if something's going wrong, there's always someone out there to complain about it. Am I right or am I not?
I mean, I get it. It wasn't anything too exciting, that's all.
But that's what I'm saying. So the Rams have one of the top defenses in the entire league. So of course the Patriots aren't going to do great on offense because the Rams are a great defensive team. Yet at the same time, the Patriots at the beginning of the season they were not a prominent defense, but yet they are one of those teams that people underlook when it comes to defense because the second half of the season is when they started turning around and becoming a great defense because people don't know any players on the defensive side of the Patriots that they can name at the top of their head. But yet when they come out there and do a great showing on defense and shut out the Rams, what makes them so great, the Rams, is that I'm going to name terms that you won't know. They run a play-action offense, okay? That is when the quarterback turns around, fakes a handoff to the ball, and throws it, okay? Is a play-action, okay? So the Rams are a play-action offensive type of team. They also run the ball, but Todd Gurley was not, having his best game because he was a little injured. He was limited. But Sean McVay also had, at the same time, C.J. Anderson, a big giant bowling ball running the ball. But yet the Patriots could still stop that because they are a defensive team at the same time. So either way you want to look at it, people are going to complain left and right about it, okay? So at the same time also, people want to complain about it, but at the same time, people's eyes were still glued on the screen with the Super Bowl on CBS. Yet they still want to complain about it. I'm trying to control myself so I don't slip any words out because I would. But I'm doing a pretty good job, I'll say.
Yeah, you are.
So, yeah. So, people are going to complain about it anyway. The ratings were low. Yes, they were. First time since 2007. But I thought it was a great game. If you like defense, that was the game you wanted to see. Okay? So, great job. Patriots won the 6th Super Bowl, tying the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom Brady won his 6th Super Bowl single-handedly, but at this time he has 2 hands because his thumb gets a ring. So, I thought he did a great job. You know, he didn't have a spectacular stat line, but he at least led the team down the field for them to get this touchdown that they needed to break away from the 3-3 tie that they were stuck at. Okay? It was a clutch performance coming down into the 4th quarter. So, there we are. Okay? I understand it was the lowest scoring Super Bowl of all time, but I thought it was a great game. If you like defense, that was a great game. I like defense. So, also, that's all I got to say about the Super Bowl. Okay? So, and that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. You know what? If you have anything to say to disagree with that, call us, because Frank will answer the phone at 717-871-7075, because we're also taking requests. Look at that segue right there. People, we are taking requests. We will listen to you complain about how I just said Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, and the Patriots are one of the greatest dynasties to ever grace the NFL. Controversy. So, there we go. All right, so into our second segment into sports. We're going to continue on football because then I have one more segment for basketball because I know we're limited on time. So, football. The Eagles. We're going to talk about a local team close to us here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Okay? I only say that because I know it upsets a lot of people. So, the Philadelphia Eagles are in the process of franchise tagging their backup quarterback, Super Bowl MVP quarterback Nick Foles. And I think it's an excellent choice for them to do because Nick Foles is not the long-term answer there in Philadelphia. But at the same time, they want to get some trade value out of him because he can perform in clutch performances. So the Philadelphia Eagles are in the process of putting the franchise tag on him, which means they would have a 1-year contract with him, which then he can be traded. And the purpose of the franchise tag is to franchise tag that player so that they can agree upon a long-term deal. And Nick Foles wants to still be a starting quarterback in the NFL. So what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do is franchise tag him and look for a trade within the league to send him to another team, to a team that needs a starting quarterback. What the Philadelphia Eagles are looking to get, it sounds like, is a 3rd-round pick. I think the Eagles should push for a 2nd-round pick because I think that they can get that out of Nick Foles because Nick Foles still has a little bit left in the tank for the next couple years. He's not a long-term solution, but at the same time, he's a current solution. So there are teams out there looking for their quarterback to bridge over for the next couple years. And examples who I think would be a great fit for Nick Foles. You know, there's 3 teams out there I think would be a great fit for Nick Foles. Those 3 teams are the Jacksonville Jaguars. Unfortunately, Blake Bortles is only good in Madden. I've experienced it myself. But you know what? Nick Foles would help that team, and that is the missing piece that team needs to get back to the playoffs. And again, back to the AFC Championship game where they were last year with the Patriots. They need a quarterback. Nick Foles would fit right in with that team. And if the Eagles wanted to, I'm sure they can work a little trade out for a couple of picks. Along with that, second team that I am going to bring up is the Washington Redskins. Unfortunately, with Alex Smith breaking his leg, just like Joe Theismann, his future in the NFL is uncertain. But I think that, you know, having an insurance policy in Nick Foles would help out the team, whether Alex Smith is coming back or not, because he'll never be the same player. Again, that's a quarterback right there who can lead the team down the field and do great things and spark the offense. And the last team that I'm going to bring up is a team that is in need of a quarterback because they thought Case Keenum was a short-term fix. And that is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos need a quarterback. They have the defense. The defense, yes, is getting a little older, but at the same time, they're not broken down. So they have some offensive pieces on their side, but what they really need is someone to take charge of that locker room and to lead that team back to the playoffs. And I think Nick Foles could lead the Denver Broncos back to the playoffs once again and make them a prominent team, just as they were a couple years ago with Peyton Manning. So there we are with that. Now, to our last segment of sports, because I know you hate talking about sports, Frank. So
I hate talking about sports. I just don't know about sports. That's the difference.
okay, well, I'll speed up this last segment so that we can get to the movies. Okay, because I know you want to go see the movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about these movies though.
Well, maybe when you read the scenarios, you'll feel a little more motivated to go see them. So, our last segment in sports is about the NBA and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans, who is the franchise player for that team, is looking to be traded because he wants out of New Orleans because New Orleans is going nowhere. So, Anthony Davis gave out a list of teams where he would like to be traded that he would sign long term. And those teams include the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and also the New York Knicks. Those are the 4 teams that Anthony Davis would like to go to and get signed long term. But the Los Angeles Lakers have sent out a couple of trade scenarios, but the Pelicans have not yet accepted any of them. The first trade scenario being a little bit okay, but the second trade scenario of Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and 2 first-round picks, and salary cap relief for the Pelicans is a bit of surprise that the Pelicans haven't taken it, but at the same time, the Pelicans have come out to say they are willing to sit out taking a trade at the moment because they still have Anthony Davis until next summer in 2020. So if they wanted to, they can hold off, see how the free agent market is going to be this summer before they send out Anthony Davis anywhere. So, I think what Anthony Davis did of requesting a trade in New Orleans was a great thing because really that franchise is not really going anywhere. I understand you want to have that key player there to, lead the charge, but if you're not doing anything great, why waste the talent? You could really save up some draft picks and later down the road rebuild that team once again. I think what Anthony Davis should do is hold out because I think the New York Knicks are on the rise. Even though they traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks, I think it would be a great thing for Anthony Davis to go to New York because possibly Kevin Durant and at the same time, Kyrie Irving might be going there as well. So if you have those 3 put together and the possibility of Zion Williams coming up there to New York, you have 4 great players coming in and leading the New York Knicks back to prominence because they've been a laughingstock the last couple of years. So that's all I got to say about sports. So we'll do back our 20-minute commercials. The 20-minute mark commercials. Don't want to make it sound like it was 20 minutes of commercials. 20-minute mark of commercials. We'll do some music, and we will come back to do the movies because I know Frank is dying to talk about these movies coming up. So stick it here with us here in WIXQ 91.7 FM. You are listening to What a Savage. We are back here on the air here on WIXQ 91.7 FM. You are listening to What a Savage. It is time for Friday Night Spotlights at the Movies. Frank, we have 4 movies to talk about. Please, before we get started, actually don't do that. Don't list all the movies. Go one by one because it keeps the surprise. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Get it started. We have 4 movies. I hope you have 4.
Yep, I do.
All right, go through.
All right, so the first one is called What Men Want. It stars Tracy Morgan. By the way, I used to love Tracy Morgan on
30 Rock is trash.
No, it is not. Stop that. No. Anyway, it says a female sports agent has... Whoops. Just give me 1 second.
Strike.
My phone is on low battery mode. A female sports agent has been constantly boxed out by her male colleagues. When she gains the power to hear when she gains the power to hear men's thoughts, she is able to shift the paradigm to her advantage as she races to sign the NBA's next superstar. Interesting.
Would you go see it?
I'm not.
We're going to talk about each movie as we go through each movie.
Okay. I'm not really into sports, so this one probably would not be for me, though.
It's not necessarily about sports.
Sounds like it's about sports, kind of, or like it has like a big element of it. So
her job is a sports agent. She's not into sports. She's just reading men's thoughts.
Yeah, but it could be about. Well, anyway, it doesn't seem interesting to me. But I'm sure if you're somebody who might like that, then go ahead see it.
No Tracy Morgan. That's not going to motivate you to go see it.
Well, I only really liked him on 30 Rock though.
Oh, well, everyone else hated 30 Rock, so.
Well, except maybe people like you who just complain.
Do you remember the time we went down to the beach and you forced all
I didn't
of us?
force you. I suggested
No.
it.
You forced all of us to sit there, and I'm talking about 15 of us to sit there and watch 30 Rock.
I didn't.
And we sat through one episode, okay? And you were like, so what'd you guys think? And everybody complained about it.
Oh my gosh.
And then you got upset and left. And what did we do afterwards? We watched Trailer Park Boys. Then everything got better.
Because it's that's a good show because it's funny in its own way.
Okay.
Okay, fine. The next movie is called The Prodigy. It stars Taylor Schilling, Jackson Robert Scott, and Peter Mooney. I don't know who those people are, but okay. It says Taylor Schilling stars in The Prodigy as Sarah, a mother whose young son Miles' disturbing behavior signals that an evil, possibly supernatural force has overtaken him. Fearing for her family's safety, Sarah must grapple with her maternal instinct to love and protect Miles in favor of investigating what or who is causing his dark turn. She is forced to look for answers in the past, taking the audience on a wild ride, one where the line between perception and reality remains blurry. Wow, that's a very, very interesting description. I mean, for this one, I would say, honestly, if I had time to see it, I would see it.
If you have time to see it, what do you have to do that you don't have time to go see it?
The problem is, like, I
ask you at the very beginning of the show.
I could go on a Sunday because I have off from work.
I ask you at the very beginning of the show to talk about what goes on in your life, and yet you speak right there and say, if I have time to go see it. But yet, when you come in to do your life segment, you have nothing to talk about in your life.
Because I don't really do anything. That's the thing.
So you have time to go see a movie. So that contradicts you.
I'm not going to go see a movie by myself.
You could. People do that. The lights are off. Nobody's going to know if you're by yourself.
Yeah, I know. I would do it. It's just, I feel like some people would think that's... Like, I've tried to do things by myself, and my parents are always like, that's weird doing things by yourself. I'm like, I don't really think anyone really cares. I agree with that point, but maybe I'll see, you know what? Maybe I will see it because I haven't seen. It sounds like to me it sounds like some kind of like thriller. So you know what? Maybe I'll surprise you and maybe I'll go see it. Maybe that'll make you happy.
I'm just warning you, Frank. Just be careful with because he was going to give you a strike right there.
I was.
For what?
Just keep going.
Okay, you can't just give me a strike just because. That's not how that works. Okay. The next one is called Cold Pursuit. It stars Liam Neeson, Emmy Rossum, and Laura Dern. Okay. Liam Neeson stars as Nels Coxman, a family man whose quiet life with his wife is upended following the mysterious death of their son. Nels' search for justice turns into a vengeful hunt for Viking, a drug lord he believes is connected to the death. As one by one of each of Viking's associates quote-unquote disappear, Nels goes from upstanding citizen to ice-cold vigilante.
God, you
Nothing
are quote-unquote getting a strike right there.
Well, it had an E on there, so I didn't know. I think I said...
Look, before you continue on reading, look. On ESPN, okay? They have ESPN Radio. There is a show that happens weekdays, okay? It's called The Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz. Stu Gatz is a personality with himself. That is the reason I listen to that show. It's from 10 to 1, okay, Monday through Friday. Now, usually they get him to read stories or the promos. And you know why?
Why?
Because generally he can't read. Okay.
Oh, that's
because he screws up every time he reads. And do you know why I get you to read these things?
Because
you screw up every single time. That is why I get you to read these things. So go ahead, you vigilante, with continuing on with that synopsis.
But anyway, I don't know if I would see this movie or not. To me, I don't really know what it's about, but I don't know. Because Just doesn't seem like something that I would like. But we have one more movie, and it's called The Lego Movie 2, the second part. It stars Chris Pratt, love him from Parks and Rec, Tiffany Haddish, and Will Arnett. Oh, he was on The View the other day. Reunites the heroes of Bricksburg in an all-new action-packed adventure to save their beloved city. It's been 5 years since everything was awesome, and the citizens are now facing a huge new threat. Lego Duplo invaders from outer space, wrecking everything faster than it can be rebuilt. The battle to defeat the invaders and restore harmony to the Lego universe will take Emmett, Lucy, Batman, and their friends to faraway, unexplored worlds, including a strange galaxy where everything is a musical. It will test their courage, creativity, and master building skills, and reveal just how special they really are. Aww. I mean, if you have kids, I'm sure they would love it because it seems like a good kids movie, but to me, I don't think this is something that I'll be seeing, but I'm sure the little ones would love it.
You know what? Before we talk about this movie, I think they should have you volunteer to go to St. Leo's and read to the kindergarten kids a book.
Why?
Because you're such a vigilante. I think you would do great reading to those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Chris, you wanted to come on this? Chris, you wanted to come on the show. I realized my mic was off, so you know what? That's a strike for me. What I meant to say was, I'm sure you possibly could have heard me, but I'm going to say it again. So they should get you to go to St. Leo's to read to the kindergarten kids because you're such a vigilante. That's what I meant to say. Okay? So, Chris, you wanted to come on this show just to talk about the Lego movie, not anything else. I thought you wanted to come on the show to talk about the Flyers game last week on Saturday, but no, it was all about the Lego movie. I knew why you wanted to come on to the show, and it was all for the Lego movie. So go ahead. Anything you want to say about the Lego movie, it's all yours.
Well, the one thing I just want to quickly point out, though, is that you already said that I mentioned about the hockey game when we were talking about the life.
I know, but I thought that was the reason you wanted to come on. But then I found out you fooled me, and it was all about the Lego movie. So
well, I talked about the hockey game, but yeah, I'd like to try to go see the Lego movie too by this Thursday, but if I can't, then hopefully this weekend. I mean, I watched the first Lego movie, and you know, it was all right. I mean, it was really good, and I seen the trailers for the second part, and like, you know, it looks pretty interesting, and the way where Frank was describing it earlier, it kind of sounds like something out of the War of the Worlds movie from 2005, if you know that movie. And I heard that a lot of people are referencing the Lego Movie 2 with the movie from back in the day with Mad Max.
Got no clue. We have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's like it was like a movie from back then. That's all I heard. But yeah, it's supposed to be like that. I heard.
I'll tell you what. For seeing the last 5 minutes, that's a little short. 10 minutes of the first Lego movie last week, I would go see the second Lego movie.
Really?
But yeah, why not? But
I don't know. I mean, they did promote on The View the other week.
Oh
so
my god! You know what? That's 5 strikes right there. You have 15 strikes right now within the show. Never mention The View, okay? Wendy Williams is banned from the show.
Hey, and to be fair, she is a pioneer in radio, so
well, I hope she
should respect
pioneers on her way to retirement. So there we go.
For all the listeners out there, I just want to give myself a strike because, like Tiger said, I wanted to come on the show to talk about the Lego Movie too. So I'm just giving myself a strike for that one. So I'm sorry.
So yes, I would go see that. But if you're going this Thursday, then I can't go. So
I'm just saying, if it doesn't work out this Thursday,
if you go another day, I'll go.
Yeah, hopefully by this weekend, if it's fine by you.
Let's see.
I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you during the break.
That's fine. Yeah. If you go another day, I would go. But yeah. So Frank is on his 15th strike. You know what? Stop putting your unibrow together, looking at me like that. You have a unibrow like Anthony Davis. You have no idea who that is, but. Yeah. Just wanted to mention that. So we're going to go. We are actually needing to do commercials right now, and then we're going to come back to music. But stay here on WIXQ 91.7 FM because we have our top 5 ice cream flavors coming up soon.
Yeah.
We also have your inspirational and uninspirational quotes for the week, and you will not want to miss those coming up. So stay here with us here on WIXQ 91.7 FM. You're listening to What a Savage. And I don't know. Maybe we need to change the show to how many strikes can Frank get in one sitting. So stay here with us.